I'm Sean Guevara, and this is Morning Reflections. I wanted to take an opportunity before we start into the full Morning Reflections concept to make a quick introduction to you. And it's what we're going to do. And this whole Morning Reflections has started because last New Year's Eve, my wife of 12 years, my beautiful, beautiful bride, Donna Bell Guevara, passed. And it was 2 years of fighting ovarian cancer. And in those 2 years, we grew close. I mean, we were already close, but it was a way of caring for each other, caring for her in the last moments, and helping her have a dignified death. And she was able to come home and be with family, and she was able then to move on to heaven. And so there's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of raw feeling. There was anger before. There was confusion. There's the question of, why am I still here? Why her? Why not me? And all of that just seemed to slowly disappear when I kind of understood the peace that Donna was feeling. And a lot of that came from her devotion to the miraculous medal, or sometimes called the Our Lady of Grace. And when you look at that, what she would do is, both of us had this devotion, and we consecrated ourselves to Jesus through Mary. And the way that we did it originally was with this here, St. Louis de Montfort, and it's a total consecration to Jesus through Mary. And you go through all of the prayers, and at the end you make sacred, you consecrate, you make sacred your life. And Don and I really believe that in our marriage, we had the opportunity, that we were called, just like any married couple, to bring each other to holiness, to prepare each other for heaven. And what a grand calling that is, and that was for us. And I pray, and it's this mix of certainty, and of course it's up to God's will, but I do believe that in everything that I was able to do and what Donna was able to do, that Donna now finds herself in heaven. And so I've completed part of my task. And Donna now is in heaven praying for me as an intercessory prayer for me. And so I want to extend Morning Reflections. I want to extend that prayer from Donna to you. I ask that you pray for me during this time of mourning. This will be raw. I'm not going to apologize if sometimes there's some crying involved, or it's emotional, or if we get to a point and it's just the excitement that comes from it. And so I'm going to try every morning to go further and into a reflection, but knowing just the path that we're trying to take, which is a path to holiness. And I want to pray for you to enter that path. So we are going to go through, instead of the St. Louis de Montfort, we're going to use the 33 Days to Morning Glory, which you can still pick up if you want. And in that, this is going to give us a chance, either you as a family, as an individual, to go through. You just read day by day. It's just a prayer. You go through 33 days. We start this Saturday, the 20th. And we move on until March, just before Easter, just before Holy Week. And it gives us an opportunity, as today is Ash Wednesday, we started Lenten, we're in this Lenten season, it gives us this opportunity as our prayer, as our fasting, as our almsgiving, as that component of prayer, as that component of growing more in the Lord. And I want to grow with you. I want to continue walking on this path of holiness. And I thought, if I'm going to go through this morning, and I'm going to be healing, how great would it be if, instead of just a self-reflection, this can truly be a testament to God's glory. Or as God loved us, as God has kind of put the words in Donna's mouth, and Donna loved to say, is that she was always surrounded by God's love and by His grace. So every morning, just so you know, I have been going to Donna's grave, and I journal every morning. I write to her, I write letters, I pray with her, And it's been so healing for me to express myself. And the revelations, the reflections that come out of it are just amazing. And it doesn't mean I'm not sad. It doesn't mean I'm not sometimes an emotional wreck, because I absolutely am. But it's in that vulnerability. It's not a weakness, it's a strength. That it's in that vulnerability. How do I expose myself more to God to grow in Him? So we are going to do this 33 days of morning glory, and I want to just kind of, what we're doing when you do this is we're saying this to Mary, and I want to kind of start off with that prayer, which is, Mary, I want to be a saint. I know that you also want me to be a saint, and that it's in your God-given mission to form me into one. So Mary, at this moment, on this day, I freely choose to give you my permission, my full permission, to do your work in me with your spouse, the Holy Spirit. Let that sit for just a moment. We are going to ask Mary, an intercessor. We are going to bring in Donna, my beautiful bride, an intercessor, so that we can be enjoined, that we can be entangled in this glorious mystery of God's communion of love that we are all destined for. I want you to take this to heart. I want you to comment. I want you to give feedback. I want you to share stories. Do this with your family. Do it individually. I will try once again every morning to put something out there, if that is the call and the inspiration. But I want us to walk together on a path of holiness. So are you ready? Are you ready to join me? We're in Lent right now. Are you ready to join me this Saturday, starting the 20th, to enter into this path of holiness, this 33 days to morning glory, this true, raw, just beautiful expression of God's love in mourning, in joy, in the miraculous medal that you see Donna wearing back there in the picture. Let's give ourselves. I'm going to give my all to God, which means I'm going to give my all to you. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. I'll see you on this journey. Go ahead and share the news, like, subscribe, get all that out of there so everybody else can also share with you in this new person that we individually can become. God bless, and I'll see you out there. Thank you.